Okay, welcome to Lesson 34 in Saxon's Algebra 1, 3rd edition. And this lesson is going to be talking about finding the GCF, or greatest common factor. And I have got a couple of little illustrations here I found online, colorful or very explanatory. Let's look at this one up top first. Alright, and I really like the way it breaks down each particular one. 6 is broken into 2 times 3. X squared is x times x, and then you have a y. 14 is 2 times 7, and then x and y and y. 42 breaks down into 2 times 3, which is 6 times 7, 1x, 1y. And then you've got 2, xx, yy. So, the greatest common factor then, 2, x, and y, because it has all of those in common. Okay, now remember that a factor is a number that divides in, so it's going to be smaller than, it's always going to be smaller than the ones you're starting with, or no less than. Or no greater than, like the 2. Alright, now let's look down here at this one. They've factored this out, 10x squared y to 2 times 5 xxy, and 15x to the 5th y squared. So 15 is 3 times 5 x, 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 y, y. Alright, then if you cross out the ones that are in common and you see what you have left on top, the only thing we have left is a 2. On the bottom we have a 3 and x cubed and y. Okay, so you kind of want the smallest number, but the largest number of to the higher power here. Alright, this says factor 2x plus 8 over x minus 4, x plus 4. And the reason this is here is because you can't do factoring in algebra until you can do your greatest common factor and least common multiple. So this is really important that you learn this now, so that when we do get into actual factoring, you'll already be good at it. Alright, let's do, go to the next page. Alright, so this says find the greatest common factor of 8 would be 2, let's see, 2, 2, 2, 4 z's, 2 m's, and a p. And then 12 would be 6 times 2, so that'd be 2 times 2 times 3. And then 3 z's, 4 m's, and 2 p's. Now let's see, what can we cross out here? So what do we have left? Well, up top we have 2, and we have a z left over, and then everything else has been matched. On the bottom we have a 3 left over, and we have 2 m's, so 3m squared. Alright, let's do this one. 4 is 2 times 2, x, x, y, 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 z. And 8 is 2, 2, 2, 2's and my z's look too much alike, don't they? Okay, let's start cross-canceling. Okay, so what do we have left? On top we have x, we have 2 of those, and a y, and on the bottom we have a 2, an x, and z squared, and that's our greatest common factor. Alright, let's go to our practice problems. Okay, so let's look at this another way also. It might be a little easier for you to understand and less time consuming, especially with these higher exponents here. Let's take the numbers first. 6, 14, and 24. What is the largest number that will divide evenly into all 3 of those? Well, we know that it's going to be 2. So 2. Alright, x squared, x, and x to the 10th. What we need is the largest one, the greatest, that will go into all 3. Well, x to the first power will only go into itself, so I can only use the x one time. Here I have y cubed, y to the 5th, and y to the 6th. Well, the smallest one, y cubed, is the only one that will go into all 3, so I have to use it. And the same thing here with the m. The m to the first power is the only one that will go into itself, so I'm going to use that. So my greatest common factor for these 3 would be 2x y cubed m. Okay, go to the next page. So let's do the same thing here. 5, 60, and 30. I know that 5 is the largest number that will go into all 3. Alright, the a's, we have an a squared, a cubed, and a to the 4th. Well, a squared is the largest one that will go into all 3. B, we have b squared, b cubed, b to the 4th. Again, we're going to have b squared. It's the only one. And you're going to see the same thing with c. c squared, c cubed, c to the 4th, c squared. Okay? So you want the number that will go into all 3, the largest. Okay, there may be, in this case, that it is 5, but there may be others where, maybe a bigger number will go in. You want the biggest one that will go into all 3. And then of the exponents, you want really the smallest one of all 3. So let's do C. I want you to go ahead and do it, and then pause your recording, and then come back and see if you get what I get. So 12, 16, and 28. Well, 2 will go into all of those, but there's a bigger one. 4 will actually go into all 3, so I'm going to pull out 4. And here I have an x to the first, so if it's to the first power, I'm going to always have to use that. Y to the 5th, y squared, and y, so I'm going to have 1y. And then here I have 1p, so 4xyp then would be my greatest common factor. Okay. Enjoy, and I'll see you again for lesson 35.